Welcome back, YouTube, to another soccer/football prediction. It's your boy, Freddy Da Silva. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe so you won't miss any of your favorite teams' predictions. All right. Today's prediction video will be for Saturday, September 13th. And I got for you guys a 8-game slate. This will be for the English Premier League. Like always, we'll talk about the teams. I'll let you know if there's any injuries. We'll talk about the total, and then I'll give you my predictions. All right. First on the list, we have Arsenal at home versus Nottingham. Arsenal favorite, of course. Money line negative 265 for Arsenal. Nottingham at plus 700. That is wild. Injuries. Arsenal do have 3 injured players. Nottingham with 1 questionable. Total points sitting at 2.5. And as far as team totals, sitting at 2.5 for Arsenal and Nottingham at 0.5. Now, between both of these two teams going head to head, Nottingham have only been able to beat Arsenal once, and that was 2 years ago. So this time around, Arsenal have won 3 times, and then they've tied their most recent game, which was back in February. They tied. I don't feel like this will be the case this time around. I feel like Arsenal are the better team here, but I do feel like this is going to be a good game. Now, as far as total points, 2.5, I feel like this could go over 2.5. Let's see, the last 5 or the most 5 recent games between both of these two teams, it has gone over 3 out of 5 times. So that's why I feel like this can go over. Now, like I said, recently, Arsenal haven't been all that great, but I'm guessing it's probably because of their injuries. That's probably why they haven't been all that great. But nonetheless, I feel like they are a better team than Nottingham this time around. So as far as a win, give me Arsenal to win here. And as far as points, I'd probably have to do total points over 2.5. Now, Nottingham, that 0.5, I feel like they can do it. I just wouldn't trust it just because Arsenal's defense have really been that great. They've only allowed their opponents to score twice in their 5 most recent games. So, yeah. With that being said, Nottingham, as far as them covering this 0.5, they've done this 3 out of their 5 most recent games. So their most recent, they did not score at all, and it was versus West Ham. So that's one of the reasons why I probably wouldn't put my money on Nottingham to score this 0.5. But as far as a win, I will put Arsenal. And as far as points, if I had to do points, I'd probably do total points over 2.5. All right, on to the next game. We have Bournemouth at home versus Brighton. Total points sitting at 3, and as far as team total sitting at 1.5 for both of these two teams. And this is another good game that I feel like will happen. As far as money line goes, they're both at plus money. Bournemouth at plus 140 and Brighton at plus 190. Now, injuries. Bournemouth only got 1 injured players, 2 questionable. Brighton only 2 injured players and 1 questionable. This is a game where I feel like both of these two teams would probably score 2 goals each, to be honest with you. Between both of these two teams going head to head, Brighton have won 4 times and Bournemouth only 1. So yeah, the only time that Bournemouth was able to beat Brighton was last year, and it was at home. So this time around, I feel like maybe they could win just because they're at home. They got that advantage. And like I said, they are favorite. They only got 1 less injured player than Brighton. But Brighton is a team that they can literally go against the toughest teams and end up winning. Brighton's 5 most recent games got 3 wins, 1 L, and 1 draw. Bournemouth, on the other hand, they only got 2 wins and 3 L's. So, with that being said, I feel like Brighton could score over this 1.5. I feel like they can cover this 1.5 and maybe even win this one, to be honest with you. 4 wins versus this team says a lot, right? So one thing you can guarantee here, like 99.9 guarantee, that they won't be a tie. These two teams have not tied in their 5 most recent head-to-head. Yeah, and as far as points, as far as it going over 3, the total points, it's only gone over 1. So maybe it won't go over. But I wouldn't put my money on that, to be honest with you. I would put with Brighton to go over this 1.5, just because they've been able to do this 4 out of their 5 most recent head-to-head between these two teams goals. So, yeah, that would probably be the best bet here. As far as a win, I'm going to have to say Brighton, to be honest with you, even though Bournemouth are at home and, but their most recent games, they did end up beating Tottenham. But like I said, Brighton is a team that, even though they look like they won't win a game, this is a game where I feel like they could come out winning. So, yeah. All right, on to the next game. Crystal Palace at home versus Sunderland. Now, Sunderland, even though they got 2 wins and Crystal Palace only 1 win and 2 ties, I just can't trust Sunderland. That's another team that is just, one minute they're good, the next minute they're terrible. Like, what's going on with them? Like, they're just not consistent. So, but Crystal Palace are in the same boat, to be honest with you. They're basically in the same boat. Now, as weird as it might sound, Crystal Palace have not taken an L in their 5 most recent games. They got 3 ties and 1 win and 2 wins. I apologize. So 2 wins, 3 draws. Sunderland, on the other hand, they got 2 wins, 2 L's, and 1 draw. Between both of these two teams going head to head, the most recent win was Sunderland. They ended up winning 4-0. That is surprising. But again, this was literally back in 2017. So, this hasn't happened in a fat minute. They've tied once between these two teams going head to head. And Crystal Palace have won twice. So Sunderland have won twice. Crystal Palace have won twice and 1 tie. I don't think I'm betting this one just because the number is all over the place. But if I did, I would probably go with Sunderland to win here. But I mean, I really doubt I'm putting my money on this game, to be honest with you. Now let's see, as far as points, total points 2.5. They have covered this 2.54 out of their 5 most recent games. So maybe that's something to look at. Sunderland at 0.5, they've also covered this. Oh wow, they've covered this 5 out of 5. So let's see, Crystal Palace, as far as them allowing their opponents to score, they've allowed their opponents to score only once in their 5 most recent games. So yeah, this is this is a tough one. Yeah, like I said, I'm not betting this one. And if I did, I would probably do total points over 2.5. I think that's probably the only best outcome here for this game here alone. So yeah, I probably won't bet this one. And if I did, I would probably say, yeah, this one's tough. I can't put a win here. I just can't. I want to say Sunderland, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one, especially with Crystal Palace, the way they've been playing, and it's just crazy. If I had to bet this one, it would only be total points over 2.5. I can't see a win here. Even though Crystal Palace are favorite, I don't know if I did mention money line. Crystal Palace are at -150. Sunderland at +450. So injuries, Crystal Palace do have 3 injured players, 2 questionable. Sunderland only 2 injured players. So maybe that will help you to decide a little bit more. But me personally, if I was to bet this one, like I said, it would be over total points over 2.5. But yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to bet on. All right, on to the next game. We have Everton versus Aston Villa. Here's another tough one. Everton are at home. They are favorite. They do got that advantage. It seems like at home they are a bit better, but they've only got 3 wins in their 5 most recent games and 2 L's. I guess that's more than I can say about Aston Villa. Aston Villa lately have been buns. They got 2 wins, 2 L's, and 1 draw. As far as the English Premier League, they have not yet been able to win. So between both of these two teams going head to head, Aston Villa have won 3 times. They've tied once, and Everton have only been able to beat Aston Villa once. So yeah, I feel like this time around, I feel like Everton could win this one. They are at home and they got that advantage. Late, and like I said, the 3 most recent games, nothing but dubs. So yeah, give me Everton to win here. Money line, they're both at plus money. Right now, Everton is at plus 145, Aston Villa at plus 190. I do feel like Everton could win this one. Now, will I put my money on this one? Yeah, this one's a tough one. Maybe. Only because Aston Villa have been terrible, super terrible. Their 3 most recent games. So, and Everton have actually stepped it up. Now, as far as injuries, Everton don't have any injuries. Maybe that's more reason to put your money on Everton. Aston Villa only 1 injured player, so not all that bad either. Total points sitting at 2.5, and as far as team total sitting at 1.5 for both of these two teams. As far as both of these two teams going head to head and them covering this 2.5, they've been able to do this 3 out of their 5 most recent games. Now, as far as this 1.5, Everton have only been able to cover this twice. And I guess the same thing for Aston Villa. They've only been able to cover this twice. The most recent between both of these two teams was back in January, and it did not go over total points 2.5, and none of these two teams hit over 1.5. So I'm curious to see what happens on this one. But I do feel like this probably could go over total points 2.5. Maybe. Only because Aston Villa have not yet been able to been all that great. Like their 3 most recent games, not even 1 goal. So I'm going to go with Everton to win straight up here. And as far as points, actually, I would most likely go with Everton to cover this 1.5. But yeah, the points is going to be super risky. I think the win is probably better if Everton just wins straight up here. But yeah, that's a tough one. All right, on to the next game. We have Fulham at home versus Leeds. Plus money for Leeds, 290. Money line for Fulham is at negative 105. Total points sitting at 2.5 as far as team total sitting at 1.5 from Fulham. Leeds at 0.5. Fulham, no injured players. Leeds, 2 injured players and 1 questionable. Let's see. As far as Leeds covering this 0.5, their 5 most recent games, they've been able to cover this 0.5 3 out of their 5 most recent games. Their most recent versus Newcastle, they were not able to cover this 0.5. So now between both of these two teams going head to head, Leeds have covered this 0.5 3 out of their 5 most recent games. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is another tough one. It's a good one. But I do feel like Fulham could win just because they're at home. They got that advantage. No injured players. Let's see. Their 4 most recent home games between these two teams. Fulham have won twice, tied once, and lost 1 at home. So yeah, but Fulham have won 3 out of their 5 most recent head-to-heads. Give me Fulham to win. Like I said, they're at home. They got that advantage. No injured players. Give me Fulham to win straight up here. I do feel like Leeds could cover this 0.5 though, to be honest with you. Maybe total points over 2.5 for this game. But yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Nonetheless, give me Fulham to win. And as far as points, either total points over 2.5 or Fulham over this 1.5. If you're going with points, it's going to be a tough one. Just because you have to depend on Leeds to score a goal here. And even though they might, I don't know if Fulham will make 2 because their 5 most recent games from Fulham, they've only been able to cover this 1.5 once. Yeah, this is a tough one. But I do feel like Fulham could beat Leeds, though, just because, like I said, they're at home. They got that advantage. No injured players. So, and they've been able to beat Leeds 3 out of their 5 most recent head-to-head. So, give me Fulham to win here. All right, on to the next game. You got my Newcastle. That's my team going against Wolverhampton. Newcastle have been buns their most recent games. Like, I literally want to say their 5 most recent games, they've been buns. The Premier League alone, they haven't even been able to win yet. So, but then I can't say anything better about Wolverhampton because they don't even have a tie. At least we got 2 ties. Wolverhampton don't even have a tie or a win. They got nothing but L's. So, and in their 5 most recent games, only 1 win, 4 L's. Newcastle, on the other hand, not even a dub, 2 L's, 3 draws. If I was to bet this one, I'm probably going to do a draw here. Even though Newcastle are at home, they are favorite. They're at negative 240. Wolverhampton money line, they're at plus 607. I get it. Wolverhampton are not great, but Newcastle, they're not that better either. Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I don't see where the goals are going to come from, to be honest with you. Especially total points, 2.5. It might not go over 2.5. This could be easily a 1-0 maybe, or a 0-0. At the most 1-1, but I really doubt it. Between these 2 teams going head to head, their 5 most recent games, it has gone over for sure. It has gone over 2.5. 5 out of their 5 games. So I guess you can expect goals in this game, but I would not be surprised if this ends up under 2.5, even though they have covered this 2.5, 5 out of their 5 head to head. Just this season alone, both of these 2 teams have been terrible. Probably total points under. If I was to bet this one, total points under 2.5. And if I was to pick a winner here, obviously I'm going to pick my Newcastle because it's my team. And somehow they are better than Wolverhampton, even though it doesn't, even though stats are not all fully there. They both have not won a game in the English Premier League, but at least they're not at the bottom of the table. Wolverhampton are at the bottom of the table. So, yeah, give me Newcastle to win here. And as far as points, I'm going to have to go with total points under 2.5. Oh, yeah, I didn't say anything about injuries, but Newcastle do have 1 player with a red card and 3 questionable. Wolverhampton only 1 injured players. All right, on to the next game. We have Wolverhampton. Oh, my bad. We have West Ham at home going against Tottenham. Now, Tottenham are favorite, even though they're not at home. But both of these 2 teams are at plus money. West Ham at plus 245. Tottenham at plus 110. I feel like this is a game where it could be a draw. Even though Tottenham have won twice and lost once, West Ham have only been able to get 1 win. The other 2 were L's for the English Premier League. But their 5 most recent games from West Ham, they got 2 wins and 3 L's. Tottenham, same thing. 2 dubs and 3 L's. So between both of these 2 teams going head to head, they've tied twice. And Tottenham have won once. Surprisingly, West Ham have beat Tottenham twice in their 5 most recent head to head. So, and both of these 2 times that West Ham have won, it's been on the road. So this time they're not on the road. West Ham are at home. And it seems like at home, they tie versus this team. So, I mean, I said it. I feel like this could be a tie. And the stats show that. Now, would I put my money in a tie? Probably not. What I do feel like more likely to happen would probably be total points under 2.5. It has gone over 3 out of their 5 most recent games. But like I said, when they play at home, they don't seem to go over this 2.5. So West Ham being at home, I'm going to have to go with under 2.5. And as far as a win, I don't know. I don't know because I feel like this is going to be a draw, but maybe Tottenham, just because maybe slightly they are a bit better this season. But yeah, I don't know. The stats don't really show it all that much. So if I was to bet this one, I would probably go with total points under 2.5. As far as a win here, if I had to pick a win, I'd probably have to say West Ham. But that's just going off script, to be honest with you. Injuries, West Ham do have 200 players, 1 questionable. Tottenham, 3 injured players and 2 questionable. So, yeah, it's going to be a weird game. To be honest with you, it's going to be a weird game. But I'm not surprised if West Ham ends up winning this one, guys. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised. Maybe this is a good time to get some money, right? They are at plus 245, so that's a good chunk of change if you were to go straight up for this team. All right, on to the last game of the video, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know down in the comments who you got. Give me your predictions. I'm interested. I'm curious to see what would be your predictions. And if you win, whatever your predictions are, you put them down. I'll give you guys a shout out. All right. Brentford at home versus Chelsea. This should be easy, but Chelsea do have injuries. They got 5 injured players, 1 questionable. Brentford only 1 questionable. Between both of these two teams going head to head, they've tied twice, and Chelsea, as weird as it sounds, Chelsea has only been able to beat Brentford once, and that was at home. This time, they're not at home. They're on the road. And on the road, it seems like they tied the 2 most recent road games for Chelsea. They've tied versus Brentford. So I'm going to have to go with, I don't know. I want to say Brentford, to be honest with you. This is a tough one just because Chelsea are sitting number 2 on the table, but with the injuries that Chelsea have, I don't know if I can trust them to win this game. And as far as them two going head to head, they've only been able to beat Brentford once in their 5 most recent games. So I'm going to have to go with, I think the best bet here would probably be total points over 2.5. Or maybe Brentford just to cover this 0.5. They've been able to do this 4 out of their 5 most recent head-to-head. So maybe Brentford just to cover a goal. With the injuries that Chelsea have, most likely they will allow their opponents to score. Let's see, their 5 most recent games, as far as them allowing their opponents to score, they've only allowed their opponents to score twice. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one. This is another tough one right here. This is going to be a good game. I feel like this could be a good game, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, I don't know what to pick here. Just because Chelsea have not, surprisingly, they have not taken an L in their 5 most recent games. So that's why it makes this even tougher, right? I'm looking at the stats between both of these two teams going head to head, but then I'm looking at Chelsea's 5 most recent games, and there's just no L there. So, yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see Chelsea losing this game either, but it's tough. It's tough when you got, that many injuries, but, money line is at negative 140 for Chelsea, Brentford at plus 365. So, like I mentioned, total points 2.5, and as far as team total, sitting at 1.5 for Chelsea, Brentford at 0.5. I feel like this can go over total points. I don't know why I feel like this could go over. Either that or Chelsea over 1.5. It seems like they've been able to cover this 4 out of their 5 most recent games for Chelsea. So, but Brentford, like I said, they've covered this 0.5 5 out of their 5 most recent games. So, yeah, I think maybe that's the best bet here. Brentford just to score a goal. But it is tough when you see Chelsea's 5 most recent games and they've only allowed their opponents to cover this 0.5 twice. It is crazy. But something about Brentford, it seems like they can find their way scoring a goal almost every time they go against Chelsea. So, yeah, maybe that's the best bet right there, Brentford. And they are at home. So they do have a little bit of advantage. So give me Brentford to cover this 0.5 is as far as points. But yeah, maybe a win here. I think Chelsea could win this one though for sure. So give me Chelsea to win. And as far as points, I'm going to go with Brentford to cover this 0.5. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope the information I gave you was good enough for you guys to make the right picks. I hope you guys end up winning. But most of all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.